Now, if we think to the things that you can do, a real quick thing as a
Hey,
technique,
Mark, can you quickly say what
the
metaverse means?
metaverse. Yeah.
To
So
me, it sounds
basically,
very, to me, it kind of sounds what they don't really want it to be, but go ahead and explain it to me.
yeah. So the concept of the metaverse is very similar to like a virtual reality, mixed reality place to where you can plug in and play. It's very early looking Sims
Hmm.
style right now, though it's very like Ready Player One is the thought
Okay.
process. And
So
we're seeing like
you're basically living in a small meta,
correct.
training session, but it could be different, it could be multiple metaverses, right?
Exactly that. You
Okay,
can
that
create
was,
your new ecosystems, environments, worlds, in fact. And,
yeah,
this
that
was
cleared
a
it up.
part of
That
their
cleared it up for
acquisition
me.
of Oculus back, 5 years ago, I believe. And we're
Yeah,
seeing that continue. They've committed 700 team members that they're hiring for now to the development of said metaverse as a topic. Something that came out probably the last 30 to 60 days,
great.
just for clarity's sake. And in terms of a quick active learning technique, things you can do on your team to create that sense of, quick wins when you're stuck. The think, pair, share technique, I think, is very simple. Some of you may use it quite frequently. If you're stuck on a problem, you're in a small team, break out into individuals, you think through it, come up with your own solution. You then go into pairs, communicate your solutions, identify the learnings, then you come together as a group and then share that update. And ideally, you'll overcome that solution. You'll see me moving a little bit faster now. If you want me to stop, you just let me know. In terms of building learning organizations, though, these are those 4 areas that really make strong learning organizations. First being those targeted learning and development programs. And we talked about this earlier on our conversations of training, adult learning, prioritization of which skills, how. And you will see a continued emphasis on the ability to have these programs because they facilitate an increase in employee retention. And the reason is because they increase the satisfaction because people are actually learning the skills that they enjoy. And that ties right into job rotation and enrichment. We're seeing organizational structures mold and grow in a way to where they're actually empowering the individual to continue following a path that they're desiring, that they're actually interested in. When you find that someone's interested in a path and you give them the skills and the resources to explore that path, really beautiful things happen. So those two.
Mark, can you give us 5 organizations that's doing this?
5 organizations that do these things.
Yeah, so you just mentioned Facebook, so that's one, right?
Sure.
That are sort of really heading in this direction, solidly heading in this direction.
Yeah, so I mean, like Coinbase is another organization that I know has internal programming for their staff and their team members. Quora is another organization that's phenomenal. It's the online question and answer. Quora is this like huge company. They're phenomenal, really well done. Gusto is another organization, SaaS-based, the people part of payroll, they're phenomenal. So you see organizations doing this, frequently investing in their teams, oftentimes SaaS-based, though at the same time, I'd imagine there's a variety of different organizations prioritizing some form of this. Now, the other 2 that I highlighted, again, bringing in those external experts to be able to create that shared experience, to be able to bring in a certain acumen and a certain vocabulary that people can share and then be able to build from. And then even if that hands-on training for the application of taking action in the current skill that's missing. We're seeing a significant rise in that with the gig economy. This is, the Upworks and, I think Upwork is a great use, the Toptals, people bringing in contractors and then oftentimes keeping them if they're the right fit, though at the very least meeting product and project requirements with people who have those necessary skills. And again, the longer term value being that coaching and mentorship model, which I call friendtorship, really accelerating that development based on human connection.
It's also a good potential because in Agile, well, whatever, we're trying to flatten that organization. And I think, was it Craig that mentioned management before? That's an area, a very confusing area. And I'm always saying, well, we should move you into training, still maintain your management responsibilities, but evolve it out of management, but into a more, we're supporting the structure of an organization versus telling people what to do versus this is my department. It's not your department anymore. We're at this level.
Right.
So you're gonna be, I'm sorry, I'm just sort of, you're spinning some ideas in my head. So it's good. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. I think it does a couple things. One, it makes others ideally comfortable to share as well. This is a dialogue meant to be as such. Two, it's relevant. When you think of the shape of an organization, you've talked about flattening it. What that really means is giving permission, and we call it permission to play, right? And so it's that permission to say, I'm going to make this bet. I'm going to state my case. I'm going to communicate, I believe X. Though the beautiful thing is someone said, I believe, and they're willing to take that action. And then they have the opportunity to see it through. And when you flatten that organization, when you create and adopt those agile principles, you see that increase. And really, that's going to impact the way in which people solve problems and the way you deliver products and services to your customers. So I love that add-on. Thank you for that. When we tie it back, yeah, David.